Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. Yeah. Insane. Absolutely insane. Such a damn shame.
You're watching Young Tripp Reactions, the show where rapper Young Tripp reacts to the latest videos on crime, drama, news, and so much more. Get ready, because the show's about to start. Let's go.
Peace. Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. The first video that we're gonna do is actually more of an update type video. For my earlier subscribers from when I first started doing reactions, as we know, I actually have been doing content, since I was like 9 years old, regarding, just when my channel was just music. But, obviously me adding reactions, going back to like early, I would say January, right? There was a video that I did of the Alpine Divorce, which is where somebody, or Alpine breaking up, for people who aren't necessarily legally married, which is where somebody takes someone that they're dating or married, and preferably men, taking women hiking on a hiking trail, hoping that a wild animal eats them, so then they don't have to break up with them, or file a divorce, and hoping that to try to prevent the woman from taking everything, or preventing from having to deal with their emotions, like I just said, if you aren't legally married, and breaking up with them. As I stated in my first original reaction video to this, you have to be a punk N-word, as I said in the video, a punk nigga, to leave someone stranded somewhere because you don't want to tell them to their face, hey, I think we should separate. I think we should file for a divorce. I think that we should break up. Because you just want to take them hiking instead and leave them, so then you don't have to worry about the responsibility of telling somebody, hey, I just don't think this is working. As a man, you should be able to do that. As I stated in my original reaction, it is absolutely insane to know that this is still happening, where people are taking their significant other and leaving them in the wilderness to be eaten by lions or tigers or bears or anything that is out in the wilderness. That is absolutely insane. So again, like I said, my original feeling is still the same. You are still a punk N-word, for people of color. For people that are not, you are a uncivilized mutt of a man if you are Caucasian, leaving your significant other in the wilderness, and that's just the case for everybody. You are an uncivilized person if you are leaving a woman on a hiking trail to try to tell her that you are breaking up with her or filing for divorce by leaving her in the middle of the wilderness. So I still feel the same way about this particular case. You are a punk N-word if you are a colored person, and even if you're a Caucasian person, it really is the same for you too. You are a punk dude to be leaving your so-called, you know, uh, person that you're trying to break up with, girlfriend, wife, whatever she is to you, fiance, whatever. It is absolutely insane. It doesn't matter what race or what you are, nothing like that. It's just that you are something else if you are doing that when you can just be a man and say, hey, I don't think this is working. So, yeah, my feeling is still the same on it. Welcome back to Young Tripp Reactions. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. If you have any videos that you run across that you want to hear me react to on the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me through direct message over on FB or on Instagram. Also, make sure you come follow me on my professional FB and my professional Instagram as well too. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights, or anything like that involving you, a friend, or a relative, or anything like that, involving any incidents involving the police, give me the details on that. Let me know about the activists that are involved so I can join them to help fight for justice for you or your family member, friend, or relative. Also, let me know if your friend or relative is still here or if the police, sent them to the Lord and Savior, just so I can know what's going on with all of that. And let me know about the activists that are involved so I can join them to fight for justice for you and your loved one. Again, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. And let's get into this.
Never go hiking with a man. They basically just stranded me. I don't even know where the fuck I am. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just following a path. I don't even know if this is the right path. There's so many, but we walked for at least 2 hours to get here. So, it's about another 2 hours.
Yo, if you leave a woman in the woods by herself or on a hiking trail by herself with the intention of absolutely stranding her and hoping that something negative happens to her, then you are a scumbag and you are a POS. And I don't care how evil or how mad that you get at somebody. And I know that people think that a lot of times that, holding women accountable means that you can do anything to them. But no, holding women accountable is holding women accountable. And being a halfway decent human being is crazy. In the same way that...
Advertise it now. One moment.
Delighting the crowd with a couple of nifty moves.
Can't skip it right now.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check with...
I think that men are diabolical a lot. A decent human being is crazy. In the same way that I think that men are diabolical a lot of times, or that I think that women are diabolical a lot of times, and what they do to men, we have to keep the same energy across the board. How can you lay next to a person? How can you sleep with a person? And let's be clear, I'm speaking on this issue under the guise or the assumption that this person is telling the truth. All we have is to take what we can see and try to make the most out of it. So under the assumption, because I know that it's always another point of view, and I know sometimes women lie, and I know that people don't tell the truth. But under the assumption that this is absolutely true, that this woman is stranded, and she was intentionally stranded, because even myself, I have a lot of questions. First question that I have is, so you telling me you don't have no kind of mobile device? You don't have no way for you to communicate with the outside world? Obviously you do, because either you talking on a mobile device or you're pre-recording or you're recording on something else that then allows for you to be able to transfer it over once you get into a safe space, right? So it seems like she should probably call the authorities or call somebody else before she starts to lean on or letting her battery die. And she should probably call somebody that she loves and say, hey, this is where I am. This is where my location is. This is Life 360. This is where my Find My is. This is where you can find me. The second thing is what, did he run away from you? Are you not following him? Do you just let this dude run away and that's just the end of the conversation? So,
And that's what even Anton said, even in the first video that I reacted to that he did, and obviously now we're reacting to this one. Like I said, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my first one. Yes, at the time I was shooting inside and the smoke detector was going off. However, you know, it's still a good reaction, and you'll get more understanding of even what this even is about this Alpine Divorce, and you know, me breaking down kind of like the stuff I was talking about at the beginning, you know, and the stuff that I said in my original reaction, which again, my original reaction is still the same as it is now, as it is today about this whole situation. Like I said, you are, like Anton even said, you are a scumbag. You know, you a POF, all that. If you are doing this to women, taking your woman hiking and leaving her in the wilderness. But again, like Anton was even bringing up too, you acting like you can't follow him, which was exactly what Anton said in the original video to this. This is what I said in the original video of this, with the other ones that we did. You know, your legs just stopped working, I will be running after the person, you know. Heck no, what are you doing? Where are you going? What is happening? You know, anybody would do that. A man, a woman, anybody. If you go somewhere and it's not a familiar place to you, and it's obviously familiar enough for the other person, you would be running after the other person trying to keep up with them. What are you doing? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
it's not like I don't. What, did he run away from you? Are you not following him? Do you just let this dude run away and that's just the end of the conversation? So it's not like I don't have questions about this, right? It's not like I'm not weary or you know, up looking at this and I'm just looking at it with, you know, eyes that's just only for her. No, I'm questioning everything. And then at the same time, I'm also being mindful to say that people that intentionally look to strand people, right? If you leave somebody on the side of the road, if you do any of these type of things, you leave somebody in a bad neighborhood intentionally, you set somebody up, you get somebody in the jam, I think that that is diabolical. And I don't think that anybody, it almost should be, I can't say it should be a charge as a result of it because you didn't necessarily do anything wrong and you can't charge people based off of intention alone. But my point is that if somebody is any woman that is with you, unless it just completely gets crazy and she's trying to take you out, any woman that's with you is under your covering and you should treat her as such. So I don't like it. They call these Alpine divorces. An Alpine divorce is essentially supposedly when a guy takes you hiking or he takes you to a far remote location and then he leaves you and he strands you with no way to get back.
I don't know what it is about gray, but this is super comfortable. I love the wide leg on it. It's just a really nice, comfortable set. You can dress it up, dress it down.
Guy takes you hiking or he takes you to a far remote location and then he leaves you and he strands you with no way to get back.
I mentioned in a couple of my stories how my ex and I used to go on hikes together all the time. That's kind of the main thing we did. It was always almost always initiated by him. That's kind of like one of the only things he would agree to do together. And he was especially really mean to me on these hikes. He would either like give me the silent treatment, walk ahead of me, just be really mean to me, scoff at me, make me feel like I'm just really inconvenient to him. And I had a bunch of other women commenting, saying same exact thing like happened to me. We would go on hikes and like the same thing happened. And I was like, that is so odd. What a weird coincidence that there are other women dealing with the same thing on a hike. Like, that's so specific.
I don't understand this. I don't get it. Like, how is this becoming a thing? How is this a trend? So if you go, I don't care if it's your husband, I don't care who it is. If you go somewhere with somebody one time, and in that one instance, it turns into a negative situation, or it turns into, hey, he stranding you, he walking ahead of you, he not checking for you, you had to make it back on your own. Why would you go again? Why would this be a second and a third opportunity?
And I get where Anton, what he's trying to say, what he's trying to ask, but that's because a lot of these women, they probably already know how they even have been in a relationship, maybe not, maybe they're being mean or whatever, or whatnot. And again, we have to start thinking about, is men trying to make certain women change to want them as well too? Just like how we talk about, like I said, with me and Anton, because we do relationship content. That's, even like a person like myself, outside of the police stuff that I do, a lot of the other videos that I do is relationship stuff, right? We even have to start thinking as a man as well too. If this person is really a person that we really want to be talking to. And again, you have to factor in about actually just ending the relationship, not taking them hiking, not doing any of that. A man should separate from the relationship the same way like me and Anton talk about women. I think that certain men are also trying to change certain women to be how they want them to be too, kind of like how women be trying to do. And like I've always stated, it never works trying to convince somebody, try to show somebody, or try to make somebody treat you or be the way you want them to be. They have to already be what you are looking for already. So I think some of these men are like dating women that may be not exactly like how they want them to be, either regarding like looks or personality or whatever the case may be. So whatever the case may be, it may not be like that. So maybe they think, I'm just trying to think of something. Maybe let's say you are into more light skin or brown skin, but maybe somebody who's dark skin. Like if you're African American, and maybe somebody more dark skin likes you. And then you think, hey, maybe I'll give them a try or something. I know that's kind of a bit, but that's just something that just came to mind. And they give them a try, and then come to find out, hey, this just isn't gonna work. So then instead of you being a man and saying that it's just not gonna work, I was trying out something, you just take them hiking and strand them. No. And then you start being like a woman, like when women start like maybe accepting men that they would have not have really went for because they know that the type that they go for is really no good. And then they try to break up with them and try to go back to somebody who was no good, or they try to change the guy into being the guy that that they liked, the guy that they actually like, try to change the good person that would be worth actually dating, and turning them into the guy, maybe not with his personality, but like the look, maybe how he dressed and all that other stuff. You can't change nobody to how you want them to be, or try to change somebody to look the way you want them to look, or pretend that they look the way you want them to look. That's why you have to date or be with somebody who you actually like, so then you could try to avoid this type of stuff. Because it seems like these dudes, because most dudes don't do stuff like this, right? So I believe that these dudes are dating women that maybe that they don't really like, or marrying people that maybe they changed, maybe they did like them. Because to marry somebody is that's a very strong thing. So if you're marrying somebody, maybe the person more likely changed, right? And then instead of you being honest and saying, hey, you changed, and so I don't think this is really going to work, instead you try to take them hiking and try to hope something happens to them, versus filing for divorce, because maybe you think that they're going to take everything because they don't want to sign a prenuptial agreement, so they never wanted to do that, so you're trying to prevent losing everything. And then, or if you break up with somebody, maybe you're dating them for, maybe you're trying something different, like I said, or maybe they're trying something different. Maybe somebody's not going for somebody that they originally would have gone for, or the certain men, because I know men that will try something different and then come to find out it just didn't work. But now you don't really want to break up with the person, and so then you're trying to leave them hiking, or something. It's just, man, I don't understand it. I can't even believe that this is even still continuing. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
Fourth, you had to make it back on your own. Why would you go again? Why would this be a second and a third opportunity for this to happen again?
Okay, now I necessarily remember what I was saying. Like, the thing about women is, maybe, like I said, they're dating, trying to date someone that they really like, that maybe that doesn't really like them, but they agreed to date them, just to have somebody. And I don't know, maybe they're hoping that they'll change, and going on these hikes, maybe thinking that it's going to strengthen the relationship, because we know a lot of women think that if they fight within the relationship, that will make the relationship better. If you keep giving up the goodie basket, if you keep trying to show that you're the girl that he should be with, that there's women that really believe, and a majority of women, most women actually believe that if you show a man that you're worth being with, that all of a sudden he'll want to be with you. No, that's not the way that really works. And you have to really go for somebody who will actually be worth actually being in a serious relationship with. Everybody, just because they 6 feet tall, got a whole bunch of money in the bank, does not mean that they're worth being with. You could actually go date somebody to build a life with, versus going into somebody else's life where they already got everything figured out, trying to date them, versus somebody who you can build with. It makes the love more better than you trying to come into somebody's life and try to make love, versus you building with somebody and it's already love, because it's building. Everything that you had to do together, you bought a house together, you got cars together. Yes, you may have had some of these things already, but now you could buy fancier cars. So maybe you were riding around in a early 2000 car, and now you're riding around in a 2024 car or something, after riding around in a 2012 or 2015 or something. So all of those things, because you have built together. women don't understand about building together. And then you date these bad dudes and then or marry them, and then they're taking you on hikes because they really probably didn't want to be with you. And then the same thing with these dudes too. Why would you be with somebody who you never really wanted to be with in the first place? Why would you be with somebody that you never wanted to be with in the first place? If you really wanted to be with them, then be with them. But in most cases, to take somebody hiking and leave them, you probably more likely didn't want to be with them in the first place. And these women should be wanting to date somebody who wanted to be with them in the first place. But a lot of women want to friend zone the person who wanted to be with them in the first place, and then try to go date somebody, give up the box, and go into the life that they already have, as in the guy already had, and try to insert themselves into their life, and then there's no building. And then you wonder why the relationship fell apart. Crazy. Let's continue. So that's what I was trying to say. But again, too, there's men that do the same thing, like go and date women, give up the box, and he's not even, really even, she's not really enjoying him at all. And we've all, like as in men, we've all been there where you kicked it with somebody, but they're not really checking for you. And you got to live and learn through that. But it's crazy to see that you go with somebody hiking and then they just leave you and you just acting like your legs locked in place. That's not the case. You can still walk, run after them. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
You had to make it back on your own. Why would you go again? Why would this be a second and a third opportunity for this to happen again? Because once somebody shows you who they are, you need to believe them. And so I think it's horrible, but I'm also questioning the judgment of the people that are making these videos and having these conversations that are involved in these Alpine divorces. And do y'all hate the person that y'all with so much to where you would actually want to see something bad happen to them? I would never want to see anything bad happen to anybody. I would never want to see anybody go to jail. I would never want to see somebody lose their life. I would never want to see nobody. I would never want to see somebody lose their ability to feed their family and their income and mess their job up. I've heard of women calling guys jobs and men getting women jammed up and embarrassing them in front of their corporate partners and stuff like that. And I'm like, I thought that was just a part of the movies. I didn't know that people hated and despised each other enough to ruin each other's life or to want a life to be taken. That's beyond the relationship. That's beyond getting pissed off. That is a character flaw. Real talk. It's a character flaw. So again, I'm questioning what's being communicated here, but then at the same time, I'm taking precautions and I'm also thinking about it. I'm saying, yeah, there's some evil people on this earth, and there's the possibility of it happening.
Ever thought about becoming a teacher? Now's your
Advertising,
chance
yeah.
to the program Teachers of Tomorrow, where you can become a certified teacher through an alternative. True?
Yeah, everything is taking precautions, and I'm also thinking about it. I'm saying, yeah, there's some evil people on this earth, and is the possibility of it happening true? Yeah, everything is possible. Anything is possible. And people split on bad terms and angry perspectives all the time. So, why couldn't it happen? I guess.
And then someone commented that I should look up Alpine Divorce. Alpine Divorce is so common that they had to create a name for it. And it is when most of the time a man takes a woman on a hike, usually his significant other, and he abandons her instead of breaking up with her. I had never heard of this before, and it sounds like it is something that I may have been a candidate for, so I just wanted to spread the word.
My entire timeline this week has been talking about Alpine divorces, and an Alpine divorce is when a man takes you up into the Alps and leaves you there in hopes that you will die as a way of breaking up with you. Great. That entire conversation makes me want to tell you guys dates that women should be saying no to, largely in general, but especially as first dates, in hopes of mitigating the likelihood that a man will take them somewhere and kill them.
You know how crazy that is, that even on a first date, that you're afraid that you go on a first date with somebody and that they hate the date so bad that they don't even know you, that they will take you into the wilderness and leave you. That is crazy. On a first date, they don't even know you. But obviously something you said on the date, maybe your behavior or something on the date, so they hate you that bad already within meeting you that they want to take you into the wilderness and have you left to be eaten by something. When they don't even know you. All you have to do is go home and block them, and then, or, I mean, if you really want to just be that shallow, my opinion is to tell the person, hey, that was, it was cool and nice to meet you, but I just don't think we should have another date. But there's people that are actually going on first dates and taking people into the wilderness and leaving them to say, hey, I really didn't enjoy our date. Or I just didn't enjoy you. To really be honest. That's insane. The ones that I've seen in the other ones, and obviously the first one here before this one, and in the other one, like I said, go watch the other one before you watch this one. Most of these people are people that were dating the person for 3, 4, 5 years or longer, or 2 years or 6 months or 8 months or stuff like that at least. You're talking about taking somebody into the wilderness the very first date because they irritated you? Should you even be dating? Oh my God, bro. That is crazy. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. All people, men, women, need to stop being so... Be more open-minded to different people to date. Don't tell people you don't want to try to get to know them because maybe they have a disability or something. Because look at what a lot of these men that especially women, a lot of these men that you go for and what they're doing. They're trying to leave you in the wilderness to have you been eaten out by the wilderness so they can not be charged with unaliving. So they don't get charged with murder. Because if an animal does something, because I know this, because there's a first 48 episode. I've actually been trying to find it to see if they've re-uploaded it yet, but they haven't, where I could do a reaction video to it, where this guy, I guess him and this girl broke up, I guess. She started dating somebody new. I guess he left one of his cell phones there. He went to the house to try to go get it. The new boyfriend was there and had 2 pet bulls and sicked his pet bulls on the old boyfriend, the new boyfriend. Because usually you would think it would be the other way around, like I was trying to say it. But the new boyfriend somehow was jealous of the old boyfriend, which is crazy. You're the one that got the girl, but it's crazy. And he sicked the pet bulls on the old boyfriend, and the dogs didn't get off until a neighbor or somebody shot up in the air and scared the dogs, and by that point the guy was gone. Obviously, as I told you, it was a first 48 episode. Absolutely insane. So but again, he was charged, I think, with like manslaughter. This was out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was charged, I think, with like manslaughter. He wasn't charged with first-degree unaliving. He wasn't charged with second-degree unaliving. He was charged with manslaughter unaliving. And so don't think that you won't get charged, especially if somebody can prove that this was connected to an Alpine divorce. You can get charged, and it will more likely be manslaughter. And in most states, manslaughter is from, I think, 5 to 10 years or 5 to 15 years. So if they can actually prove that. Because I even talked about that in the first video, because one of the ladies was talking about that you should be charged with unaliving. They should charge you with unaliving, but you would have to be able to prove all of that. But the more you see this keep happening, the more they may be able to prove it. As a person who always wanted to be a homicide detective, I know if you could prove that, then more likely that, if your family, and that you won't be here, if they can prove that this person set you up and took you into the wilderness, they may be able to get that manslaughter charge. And you may actually get convicted. So if I was dudes or anybody, women sometimes be setting men up too. So anybody who hear me, men, women, anybody who hear me, who may be even thinking about setting somebody up that you're talking to, just remember, it's better just to let them have a broken heart than be trying to find a way to have them unalived. It's better just to split everything down the middle, and if you are actually legally married, then trying to get the person unalived. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
Yeah, but this isn't
largely in general, but especially as first dates, in hopes of mitigating the likelihood that a man will take them somewhere and kill them.
Yeah, but this isn't that. You know what I'm saying? This is people that are in relationships. All of the women that are saying this are women that are in relationships or married to the man that they're saying are stranding them and leaving them on these trails in hopes that something would happen to them. And instead of breaking up with them, they just hoping that something negative or devastating happens to them. Even when it comes to self-preservation from the man, I don't want to be accused of that. I don't want to be making the news because my chick disappeared and I was with her and then I made it back and she didn't. I don't need that on my rap sheet. I'm good.
One is hiking.
And it makes you think about, like, just the way, like, how Anton just put it, makes you think about, Austin Wells in his situation right now. Look at how all his friends are getting looked at. You really want to be like that? You want to be like, oh, shoot, as a black person, I can't go hang out with them no more. Or even as a white person, I can't go hang out with that black person no more. As an Asian person, I can't go hang out with that white person no more. Or this and that. You really want to be that? Like Anton said, you really want to be that? I sure wouldn't. Or, oh, don't date that person. Her exes all disappeared. Oh, don't date that person. All his exes disappeared. What? Don't marry that person. Oh, his wife like oh, don't date her. All her husbands disappeared. Like, what? Even if you don't go to jail, even if you don't go to prison, people gonna still know what you did, and it's gonna be hard for you to even get a date, let alone end up in a relationship. People don't even think about that part. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification and join the Young Tripp family. Let's continue.
Is great. Have the best.
I don't want to be accused of that. I don't want to be making the news because my chick disappeared and I was with her and then I made it back and she didn't. I don't need that on my rap sheet. I'm good.
One is hiking. Hiking is great. Have the best time hiking. You're going to go hiking in places where you can guarantee there will be other people at all times. You're going to go hiking in places where you are going to have cell service at all times. He wants to hike Runyon Canyon with you, Griffith Park, phenomenal. He wants to hike the gorges in Ithaca that are fenced in with you, phenomenal. He wants to hike a random ski trail that hasn't been touched in years because his boys told him about it and it's going to be beautiful. He's going to go by himself. You're going to make some hot cocoa for when he comes home, and then he's going to tell you all about it. Boating! Boating is so much fun. He wants to take you boating on the most popular lake. Of course. He wants to take you boating in the middle of nowhere, where no one would know if you fell overboard. Not happening, sweetheart. Whitewater rafting. No idea why people find this fun, but to each his own. He wants to take you whitewater rafting at a popular tourist location with other people around. Of course. Have a ball. He wants to take you whitewater rafting on your own? In a place you've never heard of, your friends and family have never heard of and won't find you, where that phone's not going to work because you'll be whitewater rafting? No, girl. And of course I don't make this video to say that women should know better than to go on exciting, adventurous excursions with the significant others in their lives. At some point, to some extent, you're going to trust your boyfriend, you're going to trust your husband, etc. Otherwise, the relationship isn't going to work. But Women also have been socialized to accept activities or put themselves in situations that they feel uneasy about to avoid being rude or seen as overreactive or overdramatic. Be overdramatic when it comes to your safety. You do not have to do anything that makes you feel uneasy or unsafe or...
Everything she's saying is true, but also you can just pick the right good person and maybe not friend zone them, and then you won't also end up in the situation as well too. And that goes on all sides, men and women. If you pick good, decent people. I understand about the whole thing about preferences. It's cool to have your preferences, but don't be friend zoning people over things that they absolutely cannot change, that maybe if they didn't have that situation, you would date them. And what I mean by that is somebody having like a disability. I'm not saying like if you like men with beards, but the guy that's really into you don't have a beard, and that's really something that you really can't go without. Or maybe, again, like I used earlier when I referenced the thing about men, if you like a certain skin tone within a certain race, so like, if you were African American, like a person like myself, and you mostly like light skinned or brown skinned girls, then I don't mean change it up and go for a dark skin just, just because a dark skinned person may like you, and you don't really like that. I don't mean necessarily like that. What I'm referring to is somebody like with a disability or, just average little things that a person may have going on that you would just reject them just because of that situation, because you're worried about what friends or what family or other people may think about the whole situation, because they're a great person. It's just that they may be legally blind, or they may have a prosthetic leg, or just whatever the situation may be. They may have dyslexia. I don't know. I'm just coming up with just different things. Just be more open-minded to different people, different people from other cultures, other countries, everything. Just be open-minded and general, to try to prevent these things from taking place. That's all I'm saying. Because so many people are just so focused on exactly what they like, instead of also making sure that the person will match them to the best of ability. And that's all of us that's like that. And we got to be more open-minded about that. Yes, go for your preferences and go for the person that you would like, but make sure you're picking the right within that. So, check in different areas. So maybe like go to church. You may find that same type of person, but they maybe have a better personality. So again, if you're the type that likes, I don't know, let's just say a skinny light skinned chick or something, or a skinny dark skinned chick or something like that, and that's usually your type. But when you go out and about and kick it with your friends and go out to different events, you keep picking up the bad one. So maybe go to church and look, or maybe you may have to consider maybe checking out a different race to try to, but they may have a better personality, but they still have the same, look or something of what you like and all of that. So you got to be able to be more open-minded to things, to try to prevent this type of stuff. And the same thing for women. And women is the main people who don't want to listen about that. Go and experiment and explore the different options. Just because somebody may be legally blind, but they may have everything else you're looking for. They may have a prosthetic leg, but they may have everything else that you're looking for. Look at LeVar Bond, like I said, how his wife left him, but then he met somebody else, even with his prosthetic leg. So, yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. And like I said, don't change your preferences, just look in different areas for your preferences, as I've even started to learn. Let's continue.
that is high risk just because you avoid being rude or seen as overreactive or overdramatic. Be overdramatic when it comes to your safety. You do not have to do anything that makes you feel uneasy or unsafe or that is high risk just because someone in your life wants to do it. No. And very clearly, time and time again, women are proven right for being apprehensive to engage in said excursions. So,
let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all. Appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.
Do more games end in 5 to 4 or 1 to 0?
That's an easy one. 1-0.
Google says that a single major professional final has ended 5-4. But I love 5-4 as a striker.
People lose their jobs when we lose the final.
because I'm always going to play to win.
PetSmart Charities and Hill's Science Diet invite you to join us for National Adoption Week.
Yeah, like I said, you know, everybody, men, women, but especially women, need to be more open-minded of who they kicking it with, who they dating, who they getting to know, who they're marrying, all that type of stuff. Make sure that you really, I think most people make sure they know who they're marrying for most parts, but for people, especially people who are just dating, make sure you're getting to know who you're actually dating. And again, especially women, be more open-minded to the different people that you, you know, date and stuff too. Because I think men usually, we usually try to, you know, be open-minded, you know, because there's all types of different women out there. So there's different cultures, different countries, different, you know, all types of different people. You can run across different people every single day, you know, that you run across. And the same thing for women regarding men, but a lot of times women, actually, a lot of times women will try to friend zone the person that they really should get to know. And men usually don't really do that, only if the person is like absolutely not going to be able to reach any of their preferences is the only time we usually do that. Unless you're an immature man, then maybe because you want every little thing you want. I want her to be skinny. I want her to have a big bottom. I want her to have big boobs and all that. And you ain't willing to take the big bottom without the big boobs. And that's when you start to have issues, because maybe God may not be able to give you everything that you want. God will give you the desires of your heart, as it states in the Bible, and as it states in one of my favorite songs. God will give you the desires of your heart. He'll give you also what you need and what you want. But sometimes you may have to take one thing less to get everything that you want. You can get mostly everything that you want, but you may have to take one less thing. And if you can't really handle that, then that's when you're going to end up probably in a bad situation. But let me know what y'all think. I'll have the original video pinned at the top of the chat and in a link in the description. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. If you have any videos that you run across that you want to hear me react to on the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me through direct message over on FB or Instagram. Also, make sure you come follow me on my professional FB and Instagram as well too. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights, or anything like that involving you, a friend, a relative, or, you know, just anybody that you know, send that to me through direct message over on my professional FB or Instagram. Let me know if there's a civil rights attorney involved, similar to Ben Crump or Ben Crump himself. Let me know about the activists that are involved so I can join them to fight for justice for you and your loved one. Also, let me know if your loved one is still here, if they want to be interviewed on the channel or give any insight about their situation. If they're no longer here because of the incident involving the police, let me know that as well too, where I can just, you know, where you can let me know if you want to come on and talk for your relative or you want me to. We will fight for justice for you and your family. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young Tripp family. And also make sure you come follow me on my professional FB and Instagram pages too. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And join the Young Tripp family. Peace.